We adopted the tactic of moving step by step. The stronghold tactic, do you understand? For instance, I could walk 20 miles a day, but instead of 20, I would only do 10. And I would stop and dig trenches and build blockhouses. Since the communists didn't have cannons, they couldn't take well-defended blockhouses. So our troops worked very hard to build them, and we wouldn't advance until a place was firmly in our control. This was how we tightened our stranglehold on the communists.
As the nationalists began their new tactics, the communists changed theirs.
That was when our party made one of its biggest mistakes, the biggest. What happened was that the Communist International sent an advisor, leader, whose original name was Otto Braun. He claimed that the golden age of guerrilla warfare was over, and that it was now time to develop positional and regular warfare. When Mao heard this, he realized that he and Li De would never agree. And after that, Mao didn't go to any more meetings of the military committee.
Communist Party leaders supported Otto Braun, the German Comintern representative. Mao lost his position as head of the government, and his guerrilla tactics were abandoned.
Then we used blockhouse warfare to deal with their blockhouse warfare. It was tit for tat, but of course it didn't work. They had planes and cannons. We had nothing. So the communist area shrank and shrank.
The nationalists were winning. The communists had already lost much popular support because of their violent class struggle. By the summer of 1934, they were losing badly.
We were being killed off. The revolution wasn't plain sailing. There were people who wavered and were traitors. They saw the situation was going from bad to worse, and they changed with the wind.
Communist organizers were arrested by the nationalists.
A nationalist official wanted to bail me out of prison to force me to be his concubine. I didn't want to, but they threatened me, saying, if you won't, we'll put a firecracker in your vagina and light it. Aren't you afraid? Sitting or standing, I was just as tall as anyone else. Why should I be someone's concubine? I didn't want to, but what could I do?
Finally, they took a red-hot wire this long and forced it through my leg. One from this side, and then from that side. They put the hot wire through my leg. I still have the scars. I was hung up by the arms. I was tortured 3 times, and then they let me down. I was too numb to feel any pain. My interrogation went on from 9 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. Then they dragged me back to my cell and said, tomorrow we'll send a platoon of soldiers and rape you to death. That really frightened me. I wasn't afraid of being killed, but how could I stand being raped? Though they were just threatening me, they really made it look real. When I was taken out the next morning, there really was a platoon of soldiers waiting. The officer said, just look at those men. If you don't confess, you'll be raped to death, right here. I said, I don't know who is a communist, and I'm not a communist leader. I'm just a laundrywoman. I didn't tell them a thing, and in the end, they sent me to the concentration camp at Zhejiang. They never got anything out of my mouth.
In October 1934, nearly 87,000 communists broke out of the nationalist blockade. They began a forced retreat which became known to the world as the Long March. For over a year, they walked an average of 17 miles a day, often through hostile territory. Nationalist troops chased them much of the time. The soldiers crossed 24 rivers and climbed 18 mountain ranges, and they walked more than 6,000 miles. For the survivors, it is remembered as one enormous battle going on forever.
By the time we got to the Xiang River, we had lost half our troops. We lost 30 to 40,000 people. They weren't battle casualties. We lost them on the road. We were on the march day and night. Everyone was complaining bitterly. We didn't know where we were going. Chairman Mao was out of power. He marched with the troops.
When they reached Zuni, meetings were held. Otto Braun and his supporters claimed that the nationalists had won because they were stronger. Mao said it was because Braun's tactics were wrong. For the first time, Zhou Enlai openly sided with Mao.
Zhou Enlai disagreed. Zhou did not think we had lost because of the enemy's strength, but because of our own strategic and tactical mistakes, since we had won in the past. Then Mao spoke. The atmosphere was calm. Everyone was reasonable. In the end, most decided that Li De and Bo Gu were wrong. Most people agreed with Mao's ideas and wanted Mao as our leader on the Long March.
We were so happy. We called an officers' meeting. We had a meal, 2 dishes. We were banging on the tables with our chopsticks. Yeah, banging on the tables. We were so happy we were dancing. We supported Mao. That's what it was like, I'm telling you.
The meeting was a victory for Mao and his belief in guerrilla tactics. He became the leader of the Long March, and soon of the entire Communist Party. Otto Braun lost his influence. From this time on, the Chinese Communists received virtually no help from the Soviet Union. The march went on. The soldiers continued to face the threat of relentless nationalist attack, and nature, which was often just as lethal. When they crossed the snowy mountains, most of the troops who came from the south were completely unprepared.
It was snowing, and there were hailstorms. I had to stop because it was too slippery, and if I fell off the edge, it would be all over. And it would be easy to fall off. So I decided to take my shoes off and walk barefoot. When my feet touched the snow, it was impossible. The coldness started from my feet and slowly climbed up my legs. My legs went numb. I couldn't walk. Then I saw Yan Chenqing. He was wearing a pair of straw sandals, and he had an extra pair. He couldn't stop walking, so he just threw the sandals to me and kept going. By then, the cold was already up to here. When it gets to your heart, you die. After I put on the straw sandals, I stamped my feet for a few minutes. And I could feel my legs again, and I could walk. I still have a photo of us. If it weren't for him, I'd have died in 35 in the snowy mountains.
Hundreds did die of cold, altitude sickness, and exhaustion. The shared hardships forged firm bonds between the soldiers and earned Mao unswerving loyalty.
Mao Zedong gave me his ration to eat.
3个这个清口麦的
3 little steamed buns in a little bowl this big.
一个小盘子。我当时不知道是毛泽东的。
At first, I didn't know that it was Mao's. In one bite,
一口啊就吃了2。
I ate 2 of them.
以后呢，
When I found out it was his meal, I stopped eating.
哎，我知道是他的一顿饭，我就没吃了。毛泽东以后出来就
He said, "You must eat.
为什么不吃？
You still have to march."
他说知道是他的一顿饭，他不吃了，他一定要吃。
He forced me to eat the last one.
强迫我又吃了一个。所以呢，毛泽东啊，
So Mao was very kind to his subordinates.
那个时候啊，非常的这个
He took good care of us.
思想，非常的这个照顾。